Hello, everybody. Just sending out a couple messages that we're going live. Yeah. So live working on the walls right now. That's what I'm gonna do. Hey, Gator. You can see I've got several walls around the world here.
Yes, I've had a quick jump onto the multiplayer and saw a gate.
The gate was me designing what it should look like in my head, right? It doesn't functional yet, but it will be once we build it on the build server and throw it into the mod. So it won't take long to get to that point. That gate you're seeing there was the stone brick style. So right now I'm team yellow on the stream, and if I place it down, I get a Egyptian themed wall. And right now is what I'm trying to design is how this should look and how this should function. I want to make these very, very modular, right? So the wall pieces can be attacked from any side, right? Because it didn't make sense to me to only attack it from one side. So what this does is it puts a target block on all four sides of the wall so that no matter which way you set this up, it can be attacked. And when you attack it, you only have to do enough damage to it to kill the center block. Hey, Zach. And by that I mean do one target entity's worth of damage to it. So that 400 points or whatever it was is set on all of these target blocks. They all have 400 health, so you can do it enough damage to this entire wall from killing just one of these, but it also, you don't have to kill all of them, right? So most of the structures, you just have to do 400 damage to it, no matter which target you do it to. And they all can take up to 400. So it's different than the other structures, right? The town hall, you have to kill all of them. But on this one, because we can do things like this, place another wall right next to it, I didn't want to make it so you have to kill them all. So the wall in this is going to be, it's completely different than everything else. It doesn't have clearances. You don't have to kill all the target blocks. You just have to kill the one. Go ahead.
Why is it that high?
I wanted it to be that high.
Yep.
We can set it to be whatever high.
Yep. Alright, I think if there's a future gate, then you want some room for like making the gate contraption look like a gate, so yeah.
Right.
I suppose there could be in the future wooden walls which are not as tall, and then these
Possibly.
are.
So,
But you know, whatever.
and did you notice when I killed it, it kills the entire wall at once. I'm not going to have a crumbled state because the way these walls will work, it will be too much of a problem. I don't want it to have to be there in a crumbled state and then despawn later. It also kills all of the target blocks when you kill one of them. When you do enough damage to kill it, all of them die. Go ahead.
How do you know if you're behind the wall and it's your wall, if it's taking damage? And yeah, that's all.
You mean like it's flashing or something? You won't see the flashing? Yeah, you won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't know that it's taking
they're gonna break
damage.
through, but then would you? You wouldn't normally, so.
Right? They just come through all of a sudden.
State would be great, like all the four entities there, and then just the top part just be crumbled. But if you're saying that it's too difficult, then yeah.
This is not using the structure system like everything else is. So I'm building this wall through code alone because, and I'll explain why. I want this thing to adapt to the terrain that it's being placed on. Right? So
it's going to be different than everything else.
It's got to be different than everything else. So if I place a wall like this, it's fine. If I place a wall here, it adapts to it and just sets its height up based on the blocks that it's on. So it's literally going and saying, this block is one higher, so I'm going to need to go 5 above this, 5 above this, 5 above this, right? So it will adapt to whatever the terrain is. And
that's cool.
That's the only way we're going to make it so that we can have 100% coverage. Now, walking over this is going to be funny, right? Because the terrain was funny underneath it. I haven't figured out a good way to deal with that yet. because if I just made it all level, then you might have a case where this part of the wall is only 3 high, right?
Yeah.
And how do I what level do I put it at, kind of thing then? And then the next one might be up even higher, and then you can't walk from one piece to the next either, right? So
have you tried it alongside trying to actually block off a hill like the one in our first map?
that's why I have the structure on the multiplayer, is because I wanted to see if it would work on the X map, basically. I'll call it the X map. I don't know what actually. It's the one we've been playing and testing on the most.
Yeah.
Thinking that was on the multiplayer server, but it wasn't. So
Yeah.
okay, so that's that. This is Team Yellow. Now, if I switch teams, game team join blue, let's say. Okay, so all of the targets change to blue. Ignore that. That's obviously not going to happen for the sandstone wall. But now, if I place down the wall, it's a completely different set of blocks. So I'm trying to make these walls have the appearance or the theme of the team that they're on, right? So yellow, blue, let's do green.
So blue has bricks. Okay.
Yeah, blue has bricks because I just chose a block. I'm not sure that that's the right thing for these. So these green is the ninjas, yeah. So I choose Presmarine, dark Presmarine or something. Yeah, dark Presmarine. I don't know if that's the right thing for it, but it's something to get us started with, right? Hey Vexus, welcome to the stream. And then red is Roman structures. So I just want the stone brick, right? Now, what I just added right before I started streaming was the ability to have a decoration block. So there's a base block and a decoration block now. Before, when I set up those three, it was just the decoration block, or just the base block, so which is the smooth sandstone brick. I think this adds a lot to this wall, and I would like to do the same for these walls. So that's probably what I'm going to do now. I don't know what to make it out of, though. I'm not very creative about this type of thing, and it's going to do funky things like this, right? So you're going to have situations where the wall's going to be like this, where it follows the train, and the decorations are going to follow the train too. I don't know how to adapt to it otherwise.
About if you have a hill and you're trying to cut the hill off, then you're placing the wall on the block prior to the wall placement. So if it's getting too high, as in the hill's getting too high for you to access that part of the hill, then you place the wall down just prior to that. Then on top of the wall, if you're on top of the wall, then that would be fine, as in you'd be stepping up all the time, and then when you got to the part of the hill that was 2 blocks high on that step, then it would be the end of the wall, I assume. And if you couldn't access any higher than that, then that's fine, I guess.
So I'm not sure I followed what you're saying at all. Sorry, but if what you let me demonstrate it and see if I'm understanding what you're saying. So like this type of slope is handled nicely, right? Because you can walk up this as its own terrain. But if it was a too high step, you couldn't.
Yeah.
But also think and realize that I'm putting these pieces that are 1 higher in the corners. So if there's a step up that's not directly in the middle, I guess that's one of the concerns. I think it'd work, is what I'm saying. Like, I think it could work. However, I don't think that I want to allow the player to place a wall over terrain like that. So there's a perfect example of it. You can use these corner pieces to get up all the way. And my auto jump is on. I hate that. There. So I can jump there, and jump there. And so I've effectively made my way up.
But on a hill that you wouldn't have access to that block at the base, you would be placing it.
There could be a situation where the wall was like that, though. Like where I placed this, where there's like a 3 high step there, and I just go and place it. I agree with you.
I just want to try on a wall.
We need to put that map back on the multiplayer server and test it out. Yes, 100%. Now, I think what I'm going to do with... So this has no validation. So if I go like this and place, it just does it, right? I need to do the validation piece still, that it's a valid spot to put it. And I think that the validation is going to be you place it on a block here, and these blocks can be that much higher. Or something like that. Like, they can be that much higher or that much lower.
Why
right?
did that place the entity in the ground?
It's placed that entity. I don't know. I really don't know.
Sorry.
Oh, I know why. Because the entire structure, the entire area, was not air blocked. So what it's doing is it's basically scanning the area that should try and place it.
Yep.
And trying to figure out where is there the lowest air block that has a solid block underneath it. And because there was none, it just put it at the block I clicked on, which is the one on the ground.
Okay.
So again, the validation stuff will fix that. Yeah. It'll make sure that there's a valid area there for it to place it with air and everything.
That's cool.
So, there, and it destroyed itself, which destroyed weird because it was two of them together.
So accessing the top of the wall.
Getting on top of it, how do you do it? So that's another structure that we need to do that'll be separate. What we talked about doing was having a spiral staircase type structure, right? So maybe something that's... So let's see. Get these bricks, I guess. 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom. And we need to get rid of that one, don't we? Let's build it somewhere else. Okay, so we'll use that one. So it would be something like this. So it'll have a 3, and then a 2, 3. And I'm open to suggestions if there's a better way of this. So you would place this going this way when you want your opening to be on your side of the wall, right? You go spiral staircase up to that height, and at that height, it would have an opening like this with a block above it, so you can't use it to jump out of, right? The reason for that is the part of the validation check for this one that I'm going to place down, the spiral staircase piece, is it's going to check outside of its area that it's building in about 5 blocks for any target entities. And those target entities can only be on its team before it can place. If it's on the enemy's team, it can't place it. That's the concept I want to go for, because I don't want someone to use this spiral staircase as a way to get over someone else's wall.
Makes sense.
So that's what we're gonna go for. I need to build it, or we need someone else to build it on the build server to make it work. Now, I think this structure should only also have openings to its left and its right. Right? So you place this down like this, you can go off that way with it, you can go off that way with it. You can't go that way, so again, you can't, like... I'm a little not 100% sold on that. Maybe we can make it go to that way, so you could put it in a corner. Or maybe you can make it like this. It doesn't even work.
Wondering,
yeah.
What if you could use the watchtower as the spiral staircase, as in you place the watchtower next to the wall, and there's a door and access port on the watchtower now on all sides. That could be...
You do have a good suggestion. Let's place one down, though. It's...
I know it has a gap around it that it always...
Right, we need to modify this to make this work. Now, maybe it's a different watchtower structure. Like, maybe we can make this spiral staircase thing into what we want. But there's a couple things about it, right? If you want to put archers on top of that wall, say I later add a command 1 that says, don't move from your spot. There's a ladder in here, which you can get them up, but you can never get them down. And getting them up there is very difficult, right? They have to push each other into it. So if we have a spiral staircase, they can go up it as well. Now, that leads us to why I added the gate last night as a thing we need to do. Because once you're up here, you don't want to get down with this 5 height. You're going to take... Personally, you're going to take fall damage. Your minions will take fall damage, so you need a way to go through the wall. And I think a gate is the best way. If you think back to Age of Empires, when they added walls, you don't get on the walls in Age of Empires. You don't go over the walls in Age of Empires. You go through a gate that you can control, open, and close. So that's the thought process. Now, that gate that I built over there, it has a wooden block on its top, right? So somewhere in the roof, there's a
I saw.
a wooden block. That's to represent the tile entity that I am going to add. And it's low enough where you can look up and click on it. I'm thinking you just look up, right-click on it as the owner of that gate, and those fence blocks would retract. I might do an animation with it. I might just make them all just disappear so it's easier. I don't know. And then you come back to the other side, you right-click it again, and it closes. Super simple interface to work with. Nothing, no GUI even needed, right? It will not let your troops out. You have to tell it to open to let your troops out. Because what I don't want is someone baiting someone else's troops up to the gate, and then all of a sudden it opens for your troops to come out and he floods his troops in, right?
So what would happen if you have a spiral staircase, a gate that's shut, and a wall, and someone was trying to bait your troops in? Would your troops on the other side of the wall notice the player, even though they don't possibly have line of sight, and then go up the staircase and jump off the wall anyway?
Line of sight is checked for players and for other other units, so their minions, etc.
Okay, so it wouldn't.
It doesn't
wouldn't.
check it for the target blocks. It doesn't check it for the target blocks because that's the only way I can get these guys to go to something as big as the town hall, see this target here, kill it, and then go around to the backside to kill the other one, right? So it has to not care about line of sight.
You mean that someone could place a farm down directly outside to bait everyone out?
Yes, they could, but I think the Minecraft AI by default has a check in there that prevents jumping if it takes damage, unless like the player's there or something. Like there's a check they did a while back where like if you're in a ravine, a creeper will jump at you if it thinks it can kill you, kind of thing. So we need to adjust that for mine. Testing it, yes. Now, I think all of this works. This height of this structure is completely configurable in my code. I have it set to 5 right now for the wall, but it's just a number, and whatever I tell it, it'll go. Okay. You notice that these are completely independent directional-wise. They're 3x3 on purpose. They're square, right? Because I want you to be able to, as the player, to determine what your wall should look like, right? So let's place one here, let's place one here, let's place one there. There's the front of my wall. Yes, it does make the, I forget the name for these things, the bumps up, the crenels or whatever they're called, look a little funny because they're too wide, but there's not much I can do about that. Then you get to a corner. I want this to be a corner piece. You just come over here and plop one down. As long as you've aligned it right. I didn't line it right. So let's do it this side. As long as you line it right, you've got a corner piece then, and you can just keep walking along this. So it makes it nice. We don't have to do anything special for a corner. Because I was originally thinking we need a corner piece and all this crap, and I don't want to do that.
Maybe a wand. Another wand.
For what?
For hitting a tile entity, and it does 400 damage if it's on your own team. To destroy it if you make a problem.
So if you misplace, you're saying? Yeah, maybe. That's a thing that's a quality of life for when we run out of things to do. We're down to the nice to haves, not the I want a wall in the game because it's going to change the game's dynamics. That's a oops, I screwed up. I don't want to have to click as many times. So this gives us a nice way to make a castle, basically, right? Effectively, or a nice walled-in area.
Does the dispenser shoot over it?
That's the other thing. I don't know.
Okay.
And that's why I'm saying it's important that it's configurable in my code, that we can set it to whatever height we want.
Looks like it should do.
I think it probably will too.
I don't know how close you... If you place down the tower first and then the walls after, you can get the walls quite close, I assume.
Well, right now you can put them probably inside the frickin' thing.
Oh yeah, of course. Bit of an issue.
Yeah.
Although that's, I think if you have the check for enemy tile entities, that'll be fine then, because if you place your wall on top of your tower, then it's your own tower, then I assume it only hinders you. Well, you could be blocking off the towers.
Having your tower behind the wall will have this issue. When I'm right here, it can no longer hit my troops. So perhaps this spiral staircase thing should have a arrow dispenser thing on the outside of it, right? So that it can deal with troops.
So the spiral staircase tower. I might go on the build server as well.
You need an older version.
Specific?
Yeah. Hold on a sec.
So does that mean it doesn't have it? It doesn't matter.
Hey, thank you for the subscription. Who was that? Full power. What were you saying about the version? Or whatever it was?
Doesn't matter if you don't have that specific tower block, because it's really easy to make, I assume. I mean, it is. It's only 5 cobblestone blocks up, or 6.
Right, and so a couple things about the wall still. This wall, it adapts, right? So it's going to be 5 if it's all flat land, which most of the maps so far are mostly flat land. But there's going to be areas that are going to be different, right? And that's part of the reason that I made the target. All the other targets are on the ground, or mostly on the ground, right? I made this one up in the air, because what happens if you've got terrain like this? Right?
Yep.
You can't get to it, right? And I think that's okay, even if it goes like this. And here's my thought process why that's okay. Because if you have another wall here on the flat ground, this one's accessible and you can kill this one. So this one's just here to block the troops, right? And yes, it's a little cheaty because they can't kill this one, but they can kill this one, and this one, and this one, and this one that goes to the rest of the wall. And once they do that, they can come here and kill it. So they can still get them all killed. Okay, so...
Alright.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I'm trying to think through everything, but I don't know that I've got it all yet. And that's why what you're saying is completely accurate. We need to test this a lot.
So, were you intending the spiral staircase to be part of the wall or behind the wall to connect to the wall? As in,
it should be placed in such a way that it will connect to the wall in its center. So this will stick out from the wall like this, I think. The spiral staircase should be the right side of it. These 3 blocks should line up with the wall exact, and then it'll be 2 forward and 2 back, basically, from the wall.
oh yeah, that's cool. So it could have a dispenser at the front, maybe even at the back as well, but yeah, looks alright.
The thing I don't know about yet is, should it be like that? So you can place a wall here? No, it shouldn't, because then if you go the other way. I want to be able to make it in the corner, but I don't know a good way of doing it, because you need to be able to get into the thing. Hey, Willpower, we're making an RTS mod in Minecraft, so we've got most of it here and working with the units and everything that you can control, but this is the wall for it. And the wall's posing some interesting challenges, so here you can see some of the troops that we got. You can control these guys. If I select them, tell them to move, they'll move where I want them to go. Oh, so the build server version is build 41, if you still have it. It's probably not there on the list because I cleaned that thing up because I don't want it to have a meg file for 200 builds of this thing. I can send it to you, though.
I have it downloaded 41.
I can send it to you. Just a sec.
Oh, quick check. 46, 37. Nope.
It may work with other versions. It's just I know the most recent version doesn't, because as soon as you try it and connect, it looks for the network packets, the registered on the server and on the client, and I've added some since 41. So until I update the build server, it needs that specific version. Okay, let me download it, then I can send it to you. I think it's small enough for Discord.
Cool.
Okay, so what I came on here for, which don't take that wrong. What I came on here for was to figure out the design of these. But explaining this to you and talking through all the possible issues with what I've done, it's good. Even if we didn't find anything new, I'm glad we talked through it because it's another brain thinking about, did I do this right? So, appreciate it.
No problem.
How should we make these look? So, should I do this type of pattern here? Let me go back to that team so that I can team join yellow. So right now, the wall, when you place it, it places these standard blocks everywhere. And then on the first level up, it places the decoration block. And in the case of this team, the decoration block is the creeper chiseled one, right? And it also places the decoration block at the very top. So these parts that jet up, the crenels or whatever they're called, I can't remember the name. Is that how it should look for all of the teams? Obviously with a different decoration block, but should we put the decorations in the corners all the way up? How should I design this basically? I don't know. Any
They're
suggestions?
called turrets.
They're called turrets. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, the turrets.
That would get confusing, but whatever.
Yeah, that's why I thought it wasn't turrets.
Never mind. Doesn't matter. Missed the question. Or at least was.
Where should we put the decoration blocks, and do we need a third block? I'm just asking for aesthetic opinions.
Well, in the blank space in between the top and the bottom. Or
Right, should we leave it all the solid block with just decorations at the very top, and then at this level? Should we put decoration blocks all throughout it? Should we do a third block type?
I would say the creeper block on the second to top layer as well. All of the second to top layer.
So you're saying this.
But if you're walking on top, it would be nice for the center. Oh, but it's not a center.
There's a center.
3x3. There is a center. I meant center row on your the connecting row.
This?
But to be smooth. Oh, it is smooth on the top anyway. Doesn't matter. It's all good.
Gotcha. So you think that looks best?
I need to wait for the lag.
And I'm gonna do this as well.
Also, IP for the IP for the build server. I don't know what that is.
Same IP as always. The port will change. Just 1 sec.
Okay.
Let me place these blocks down, and then we'll look that up. So that's how it would look over a bigger area. Hey, thank you for the subscription, Elizabeth. Let's see. So the port number.
Could just tell me the end value or write it down. Whatever you want.
I gotta look it up. I don't remember it. There it is.
You can actually shift select on Minecraft. Didn't think you could.
That's yeah. And I will send it to you on Discord. Port number. You remember the rest, or do I need to send it to you?
Yeah, no, I've got it.
Okay, cool. Okay, so does that appearance look good?
1 second. Looks better.
Looks better? Okay. So I will do it.
But I don't know. Could you place one right next to it? That is smooth. Like before.
The before? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll do 2 beside each other. 3. That way we get
you
it.
need to whitelist me on that server.
Ow. Okay, that will take a second. I gotta connect to it. Last night, my Minecraft, like I was loading worlds, and as soon as I go to load the world, it would just do the little animation where it spins out the chunks that are loading and stuff, and just sit there. I'm talking for like 10 minutes, right? It would just sit there, and I couldn't figure out what's going on, and I typically don't restart my computer because I don't need to. It's convenient for me to keep everything online all the time, right?
Mhm.
Well, because that was she was going on, I'm like, okay, I'll restart my computer finally. Maybe something funky's going on. I restarted it, it's still doing it. It turns out that Eclipse wasn't showing it, but there was a breakpoint set somewhere in the code. That's what it was sitting there and waiting for. I wasted like an hour trying to troubleshoot this thing. I'm like, how could my wall code change what's making the world load? Oh, anyway.
That's annoying.
So I closed all my windows out, is what I'm saying. You need whitelist. Easier. So be careful on that world.
Yeah, I heard CZ talking about not to mess with the iron area. Well, no, you can mess with it, but
You can mess with it.
using for the
Yes, that's what we're using to scan stuff in.
templates. Yeah,
Build a structure,
that's fine.
and we'll help you get the scanning right for it. Because, like, there's blocks inside those areas that you can't see unless you look at the block, and they're smaller than a normal size block, so they're hard to look at. And they're called void structures. And those
yes.
void structure blocks basically make this thing work, because the tile entity that is my block that runs this building is there in the fully built version, but in the destroyed and the half destroyed or the rubble version, it's not there, and that block has to be there instead so that it doesn't get deleted and rebuilt, because it would lose its entire state then if it did. So it's a way for us just to make it all work, basically. It would lose like what team it's on, all this crap.
That's fine.
Okay, so the walls. Do you think the one on the right's better? Where it's got the creeper
So
face
I
on the
look
top
at
row.
the sandstone blocks and just make sure there isn't
Gotcha.
any others.
I'm going to change my chat
Is
settings.
it cracked? Well, there is a standard sandstone block as well.
Yep.
There's a third block. I'm also not as good at creative things.
So I'm going to put this wall here. Let's do this. There's all of these blocks. The smooth sandstone is what I'm using for the base. We could use cut sandstone. We've got chiseled in it, and there's also regular sandstone. So smooth is what we've got. We could do cut at the top. That would be an interesting look.
Yeah. Because it won't fit in. Yeah. I was thinking of something that wasn't.
Yeah, I think that to me that's better than the creeper face on, just because we have the creeper face directly above it. If we didn't have it above it, then it would probably be okay.
There you go.
I think I'm gonna go with that design.
Yep.
Thank you.
I'm happy with that.
Cut sandstone. So I need a third flavor of it. So let's go ahead and get the third flavor set up. I'm gonna create another one here. This is not a deco. We'll call it deco 2. And deco 2 is going to be cut sandstone. My wife ever messaging you back? No. Okay, so deco 2 for team needs to be set as well. So we'll call this block state deco 2. I'll do team name. And do this. It'll default to air. We'll set it there if we're not going to destroy this thing. I'm going to terminate this all, sure. Deco 2 gets used if the Y level is 1 less than height. Else if Y equals height minus 1. Then state for level equals BS deco 2. And then we do else regular block. Okay, so let's run this one. And then I need to figure out what the blocks for the other teams are. I'm just using this one as an example because it's kind of an oddball one. It felt weird not having some variation to it with it being smooth sandstone. The other, what's the word? Teams were a little better because they're bricks, right? And it's just, it's broken up, right? It's not just a solid texture to it. But we still can add in these decorations.
Yeah, I've just tried the standard stone as a replacement for, basically copied the sandstone one, but in stone. And it doesn't look right just to have stone.
Okay.
Bricks, yeah, bricks for it seems good.
Let's do red next. Red is currently using bricks. I think there's this chisel brick we can use.
Yeah, for the grey bricks, if that's what you're on about. Grey stone.
Yeah, there's stone bricks, right? The normal stone bricks.
The chisel bricks.
So we could put those at the top, maybe?
Yeah, I basically replaced where the creeper faces were with that chiseled one.
Yeah. So we do this.
Looks alright to me.
And then in the corners. And then do we dare put mossy cobble for the top row on this one? Or mossy stone.
I put standard stone up there and it didn't look great. Mossy.
Mossy's not bad. Chiseled stone bricks. Let's go ahead and start doing this for the deco. This is team red. So for red, first deco block is going to be stone or chiseled stone bricks. And then for this one, it's going to be mossy stone bricks. Okay, and then let's try and place down a wall now.
What about nether brick for red?
Yes, I'm not liking red. Or not. Wait, red? Red's Roman.
Okay, well, I don't mean red, I mean the red brick. Whatever the red brick has. So that's probably blue, I guess. Or is it somewhere else?
Gotcha. That's an interesting question. Should this be, if it's a Roman type of culture, should it be stone brick or should it be like marble or quartz or something? Probably, right?
Yeah, more yellowy, sandstone-y, but obviously the Egyptians get that.
DIO. Diorite? There's not enough variations in diorite stone for that. What about what's it called? Quartz. Do we do quartz blocks? So we've got like a, it looks marbly to me, the quartz stuff in Minecraft. It's got like a pillory look.
So what do they currently have?
So this is the team that does the stone bricks. Red.
What, Roman?
Yeah. And the reason I'm saying that is we can reuse this for another team, like the Vikings. I don't know that quartz blocks make sense for something like the Viking team.
In Settlers, Vikings had wooden towers.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Did this? No, we can't do it that way. We'd have to be this block. And then those would be in the middles. These aren't directional, are they? No. Okay.
Yeah, but Vikings had wooden and iron, like towers. So a lot like the towers that you currently have.
And I'm not opposed to making one of the teams have a wooden mole. It kind of makes sense, right? In a lot of ways.
Yeah, wooden with, I don't know.
I don't like that wall as much.
Wood would be great.
Yeah, like we'll make it design it. We'll design it right, but
Yeah. We'll just see.
I'm not fond of the court style I just made. So maybe we do leave it like this.
The Romans in Settlers also had stone and then wood on top for the archers to fire from in that game. So you can only go with
Yeah.
bigger with salt. I'm sure the stone break is fine for the Romans. Basically, is what I'm saying. But then, who's the Vikings and then the ninjas?
Yeah, Vikings and ninjas. I'm not sure about, and I think
No, I like the Vikings. Ninjas. We're talking about we could say what are the Japanese shoguns? Maybe.
what are we gonna do for Vikings though? You're saying make it a wooden one?
Well,
I made bricks, so red
I
bricks,
need
because I needed a brick material. I was thinking, but I don't like it. I think this will look stupid,
yeah. I don't like red bricks.
and there's not any variations or decorative flavors of it that you can put at the top, right? It's just that. If we did nether brick, what other nether blocks do we have? We have fences. We could put fences at the top. Or walls.
Dark wood with like, how do you put iron shields? They kind of they put shields on the outside of the wall. It looks like a boat on land, to be honest. A boat wall, a Viking boat wall.
For Vikings, you're saying use.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try and build the Viking ones. If we make it out of dark oak logs and I make them vertical, I can certainly do that as long as they're all consistent. Put that one there. And then, what if we do stripped there? We also do planks there if that doesn't look right. Okay, let's just make the whole thing this, because these are a pain to place. And we'll rip out whatever we need to rip out. Okay, so let's get these out of here. So whatever goes there next to the targets goes at the top as well. This is how it's set. You got something?
Yeah, that was a Viking castle. I need to look elsewhere. But...
It's a lot of stone look to it, actually.
Yeah, to be honest. That's it. And they do have stone walls in the architecture. So.
I also have dark oak planks.
Could mix it. Okay, let's try a few things.
Maybe the planks at the top? That planks at the top kind of makes sense. Like, no, not that. Like that. Kind of like as a platform to walk on top of these logs, right? And then, gosh, this is rough.
Yeah, creativity is definitely not my strong suit on Minecraft building. I like engineering trains.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, I'd rather be programming this than making it look this way. That's not horrid. It's not. And remember, these are going to be gone too. It's not horrid.
You could do iron, but you could.
That's not iron. That's a smooth stone block.
Stone. What if you did the stone brick as of next to it, but left the wood on the top, like a wooden top to the stone brick version? It'll be quite similar, but.
So something like this, you're saying? And then what would we put on the very top where the turrets or whatever they're called are? Those?
More wood.
Or wood? What if we do the logs at the top?
Yeah.
It's different. I'm
not vastly
fourth,
different.
and fourth is the only way. 3 away from first. 1, 2, 3. You're fifth, man. Or you mean in the stream avatars, which still is not working. What if we... This is be super difficult, putting them on their side. Because each side needs them pointing that way. So that's not gonna work. What if we did a different plank instead of the dark? So
You're using an even darker one than I am, so yeah, maybe.
no.
This is going super well.
And we could, you know, do that still, and then have this be logs. That looks a little better. So maybe we change these out to something different. Do the stripped version.
Yeah, that's what I've done. Mine.
Or maybe do the stripped version all the way down. For all the decoration spots. It just doesn't go with the
No.
maybe I need to do, so that's the stripped oak, dark oak. What about the strip?
For some
Dark
reason,
oak,
I like
oak.
the log going down the very center. Only the center, and then like stone
Yeah.
being on the outside, because then when they're next to each other, they'll look pretty cool, I think.
The only problem is I don't have it set up to go that way. I can make it go that way. It's just this team will be different than every other team. That's why I was trying to put the decoration blocks in the same as all of the teams. Just be lazy.
I know. Well then, do that. Not a big deal.
Okay, I need to get
Doesn't
room.
look that much awesome anyway.
I need to get room because like what I'm doing is I need to put them side by side to see how they look multiples, right? So we want whatever our base block is. So that's our base block, let's say. And then wait, we could do more logs. That's a possibility. How high is this? We want to go one more for the top part. And then, so the four corners could be that. Oops.
Yep, four corners be the logs. That's what I'm trying.
And then centerpiece this. And obviously there'd be the target down there at the bottom. So that needs to be opened up. And so there's 3 blocks. 3 blocks. Okay. So now if I repeat this, you think stairs on top? The stairs are rotational though, and that'll be a pain to code for. It can be done. It's just, it's not simple. The logs, I'm okay with because I can make them all point up, right? It doesn't matter which way I face it. I'm not sure about that. Let's just put that there because that's going to be the target location. It definitely needs... I guess that would be how the pattern where the walkway would be. And well, what would we put on the top then? More logs?
Trying to find odd blocks would work well.
Yeah, I've seen it. Spider-Man.
Fine.
Gotta stretch for a minute. I'm sitting here too much. being able to do directions would help this look better, but yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't overcomplicate.
I want it to look nice though.
Yeah.
Maybe that might help.
For some reason I like dark blanks, well, slightly lighter blanks on the third layer from the top. And stone on the top.
There's also, so I've been using a dark oak log. There's also dark oak wood, which is the bark on all 6 sides of the block. That would take some of the rotation stuff out of it. So you're saying which dark wood?
No, the lighter one.
So it's called spruce?
Give me a sec. Yeah, spruce. On the third layer to top.
So this.
And then stone on the stone brick on the very center top instead of the wood that you've got.
Very center top. You know, maybe I should get on the build server with you.
Yeah, we'll just pass ideas.
That way I can see it though I don't have to try and recreate it here to
Yeah.
see it. Let me do that. So this is build 41. Hey, thanks for the like and subscribe. Okay. It's funny, my notification didn't come up that you liked or subscribed to me.
What do you have a star animation? Oh, the thing's down.
Yeah, so YouTube's changing how they're letting people stream, and it's a different interface and everything, and Stream Avatars doesn't interface with this chat.
Fiddlesticks, eh? Fiddlesticks.
Okay, and it worked for the last person that subscribed today. Okay.
Anyway.
Where is my Minecraft install so that I can get on the server with you? There it is. Minecraft 114. I think this is it. Yeah, it's it. Not on this world that we're going to go into here in a second. So this world here is single player. I'm just trying to make a creative structure right now so that we can put it into the mod. But the one I'm going on to is a private whitelisted server because we're using it to build the mod. And if someone were to do something like blow it up, that would be very annoying. So we keep it whitelisted. Okay, build server world. That failed to connect, what? I can't connect my own server? Why? I think my dog's barking.
I can't hear it.
Sure you can't. It's probably because somebody's here.
I like it, actually. I don't know why. Yeah. Pretty confident.
What? What you confident in?
I like the
Aesthetic
and
you're going for?
oh well, doesn't matter. Right, what's the next? Ninjas.
Okay, so let me connect to this, and then I need to step away because there's a bug on the ceiling upstairs.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. So let me TP to where you are. TP me to you. And I'll get out of your way. Oh, the pink's the target. So I'm like, the pink? What's the pink? I'll be back, guys. Okay. Well, that was loud. Sorry. I am back. Oh. I don't know about the Masikabel one.
I know.
There's another
That was
prismarine brick, isn't there?
Yeah.
There is. What if we use the other prismarine brick? This one.
Sure. You can go ahead. I'm done with that one anyway.
Somebody's at my door. I'm not sure I can stream much longer, guys. I'll probably stop here in like 5 minutes. Okay. I'm here for the moment at least.
Looking at Japanese styles of castle walls, they're quite marbly.
Japanese? Really?
Quartz.
So, this was also the Japanese town hall. So we could take some inspiration to that from that too.
Yeah, I was trying not to use white, but maybe something similar to what has been used there actually.
Strip
What is that?
birch and dark oak are the two.
Strip birch.
So I'm not liking the prismarine even. I'm just trying to get some different color palettes. Spoodman. That's why I was going for it. Plus it is the green team. Might go well with the green and that stuff.
Oh, is it directional as well? Yeah.
Is it? Put them vertically? That's how I would do it if I do this. So that is one layer. I don't think they're directional.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, they're somewhat directional. If it's y-axis, z-axis. Okay.
Somewhat. Very not that noticeable even, but
Yeah, that's why I thought they weren't at first. It's hard to tell. 3x3. That would be the... Having the pink in there is like throwing me off.
yeah. I don't know if you want to use something different, then go ahead. But
You can just leave it open. Like the all-sided one. Yeah, and I can do vertical very easily. It's the directional rotations other than vertical that are going to be difficult because the structure can be placed in this orientation or this orientation or this, and we want it to look right no matter which way it's placed, basically. I can try and rotate the blocks, yes, but it's just easier if we can come up with a nice looking solution that doesn't need that, and then we can use that. So there's 3 blocks before the platform.
problem is that we are trying to create that solution.
Yeah. What if I did this instead? And there would be another.
All the crap. It's alright.
It needs something horizontal in it.
Different. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just to break up that texture. But then you end up with weirdness unless I rotate the blocks. Because how do you know that this one should be facing this way versus this way because the wall's going in that direction? I can't know that, right? What about the... this is the log. Dark oak in every direction. Nope, it just looks like the log is facing vertical. Dang it. Okay.
Jungle wood looks like it's sideways.
Does look like
And
it's
that's in any
sideways.
direction. I think. Oh no, it isn't in any direction.
So if we did super
that is still
simples,
the same. That is the same way up as well.
you got the all-sided one. That's what that is. It's not the
Okay.
log. What if that was on the bottom? What? Are those directional?
Yeah, they are directional, but it is facing upwards. It's opposite to the direction of the wood, it seems.
So if those are directional, then we can make the dark one directional.
What do you mean? No. As in, you're having to change it to make it directional, right? Oh wait.
The
Yeah.
heck? That goes that way, but if I place it there we go. So you can make the dark one go sideways. But they're sideways still.
On the edge, on this edge, it's not sideways. Oh my god. But with these, when you place this one down, it's sideways on all sides.
Yeah, that's flipped from this. So that's facing vertical. Yeah, it's on the y-axis, and so is this. Huh.
Okay. Well, put down the wax.
So the only reason I went with that specific log was because that's what was on the town hall for that team.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. This is the green team.
Yeah, of course.
Let's answer the chat.
Right.
So they've got dark oak, birch stairs, or birch, and stone brick. Let's try throwing in stone brick into the mix. That might fix it. Maybe.
I tried that in brick earlier, but it was just... Okay.
Let's see. So if I do this with birch. And put these back to dark oak. Okay, we're gonna have the hole there and the hole there. And this might solve it, the stone brick. That's not bad. Oh wait, this would be this at the top if I use the standard setup for everything. I could make that work. I could live with this. Especially if I finished it out.
Ooh, yeah. That looks good. Well.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get off here. But first, I need to capture this and put this into the mod. Yeah, thank you. I would say it's gonna have to do. I can live with it. We can change it too later. It's not end of the world. Nope. It's not there. Okay, so that means I need to take this off over to my other screen here so I can see that. There we go. And in my code, our base block then needs to be, what's that? Dark oak. And this is green team. So our base block needs to be dark oak. Oh my gosh, come on. Oak. Dog. And we're going to get the default state, and then we're going to, with property, and the dark oak log is going to have its own unique properties, isn't it? Property creator material. It's a log block, okay. Log blocks. Rotated pillar block, which have what properties? Axis. Oh, it defaults that way anyway, so I don't need to do anything. Cool. Makes it easier. Okay, so that's the dark oak, and then for the decoration block, that needs to be the birch. Bird. B-U-R. B-I-R. Okay. Birch planks, and then the secondary decoration is the top row, which is going to be stone bricks.
So they are all the same-ish.
Okay, and I need to join team, join green. There we go. If you look at the stream, I'll put a couple of them beside each other with the green thing inside of it. It does look like a wall, having the vertical logs like that.
Yeah.
That works for me. Okay, so we've got red, green, yellow, and we need to figure out the blue teams, then is the only other one. But I'm going to stop streaming here, guys. Wife wants me to do several things around the house, so I'm going to go do that stuff, and I will be back probably later on tonight to do more. If you haven't already, like, favorite, subscribe, send to your friends, blah, blah, blah. Catch you next time. Bye!